Welcome to Kids Learning Lab, a learning podcast made just for kids. In this episode of Kids Learning Lab, we'll be looking at the history of clocks, but not just clocks, the history of keeping time. But before we start this episode, make sure to send your episode ideas to our email, hello@kidslearninglab.com. Whatever questions you have or topics you want us to make an episode on, we promise we will make an episode about it. Again, email us at hello@kidslearninglab.com or visit our website to record a voice message, kidslearninglab.com/contact. Thanks so much for supporting Kids Learning Lab. Let's start off with the first part of this episode, clocks. The first ever simple way to tell time was a water clock. Water clocks are basically a big bucket with a hole in the bottom. Water would slowly drain and it would be refilled every hour or so, and measurements were added. Another very simple clock is the sundial. Sundials use shadows because the sun moves throughout the sky throughout the day. You might not have noticed, but when the sun is rising, your shadow is at a different angle and position than when the sun is on the other side of the sky. Shadows from a stick are used to show the time, as the stick casts a shadow on a number on the ground, which can tell you the time. Another early clock was the candle clock. Similar to the water clock, candle clocks slowly lose their wax as the candle burns. The candle would burn and it would be re-waxed every hour or so, and measurements were added to the side to measure the time it took. Another ancient clock is the hourglass. This uses sand as a timer. You might have gotten this from the dentist for brushing your teeth. The sand falls through a small hole. It's easy to continue it. All you have to do is flip it. Before we continue with more modern clocks, let's talk about part 2, the history of timekeeping. This is because these happened long ago and will slowly transition to modern times. The Egyptians started to measure time at least 5,000 years ago. They based their calendars on 3 natural cycles: the day and night cycle, the moon phases, and 1 year, which is 1 full rotation of Earth around the sun. The Egyptians created measurements like hours, minutes, and seconds to further enhance timekeeping and make it more precise. They first created a calendar of 12 months with 30 days each. 5 days were added at the end of the year to align with the actual rotation of Earth. Now, in modern times, instead of these 5 extra days, our month lengths vary from 30 days from 28 to 31. Before we get back to clocks, I'm reminding you that you should buy my book, Python Learning Lab. It's a book made just for kids by me that introduces coding in a fun, beginner-friendly way. Coding is an awesome way for your kids to learn, grow, and develop thinking skills that will help them succeed in life. Coding can make your kids smarter and develop ways to think outside of the box. You can order now on Amazon Books by going to kidslearninglab.com/python. Again, that's kidslearninglab.com/python. Let's get back to clocks. Where we left off, we were talking about the hourglass. The next advanced clock after the sand clock is the mechanical clocks. These were used in Europe during the 13th century. They were placed in churches and other important places so that people could hear the bell ring. You might have heard of Galileo Galilei, the famous astronomer who suggested the Earth revolves around the sun instead of the other way around. Well, he did more than that. He also conceptualized pendulum clocks, which use a heavy pendulum on a string to make clocks tick. A Dutch scientist later used his idea and made the first pendulum clock in 1656. Over the next few centuries, clocks became smaller and more portable. Rich people started carrying pocket watches in their pockets, and in modern years we have digital clocks connected to the internet, which is all based on precise atomic clocks with microscopic precision. Thanks for listening to this episode of Kids Learning Lab. See you next time!